Hi everyone! Welcome to Artsonia's After School Art Club. Today we have a fun art project from Mrs. Green, an art teacher from Kansas. Hope you enjoy the video and don't forget to have your artwork uploaded to your Artsonia gallery.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Green. I'm a kindergarten through 6th grade art teacher in Kansas, and this is my 6th year teaching. I look forward to showing you this lesson today. Thank you so much for joining us.
We are going to make an outer space landscape today. The things you will need are a black piece of paper, chalk pastels, a pencil and an eraser, different sized circular objects, tempera paint. I find that white, gold, and silver work well, and a paintbrush. Let's get started. The first step is you're going to want to trace some different sized circles on your piece of paper. I found a cup, a little bit smaller of a cup, and a lid to something that I'm going to use to trace my circles. I'm also going to use a white colored pencil instead of a normal pencil, just so that you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to start tracing my circles on my page. I can have them go off the edge of my paper if I'd like. I like to not have them overlap. I find it easier when I color them later with the chalk pastels, but if you want to make them overlap, that's up to you. And I'm just going to trace them on here. You can add as many as you'd like or as few as you'd like. For this one, I'm just going to do different planets. I'm not going to add other things in like a spaceship or meteors or other objects like that, but you could on yours add anything you would like. Let me make this one go off the edge of the paper here too. And then maybe one more right here. So now that I'm done with my circles, I'm ready to start coloring with the chalk pastels. When I'm coloring these in, I want to pick colors that are similar to one another. I'm going to want them to be related to one another on the color wheel. I'm going to want them, if I'm using a warm color, I want to use another warm color. I like to always start with white though when I'm coloring them in. So near the top here, I'm going to color in a little bit of a circle here with my white. The two colors that I think I'm going to use on this one are green. I'm going to use a bright green and a teal color. I think those would look really nice together. So I'm going to take this yellow green here and I'm going to color a little bit around the back side of that white that I colored. And I'm going to come around in front of it, and then I'm going to continue it down into my circle, leaving a little crescent shape at the bottom there for me to use that teal color. Try your best to stay in those lines. If you get out of the lines a little bit, you can erase the chalk pastels, but it gets your eraser really dirty. So there we go. I've got a little bit of that teal. Now I'm ready to start blending my pastels. Now I want to check my fingers before I blend them. If I have a really dirty finger, I probably don't want to use that finger to blend with. I think I could use this one since it's the same colors as this one. I'm going to start with my white. I'm going to blend in my white. Then I'm going to blend my green a little ways into that white. I like to blend in a circular fashion here. And then I'm going to bring that teal a little ways into my green so it kind of mixes a little bit and get a nice transition from one color to the next. All right, I'm done with that one and ready to move on to my next one. For my next one, I think I'm going to use yellow and orange. So there's my white, my orange, and my yellow. So I'm going to add that little bit of a highlight here near the top. I'm going to use yellow, and around the back edge, around in front, kind of coloring in the circle here with curved lines. We want it to look 3D. And then my last little sliver at the bottom there, that crescent shape, I'm going to use this orange. Now I'm ready to blend. Checking my fingers, I think this would be a good finger to use. I'm gonna do my white first, and I'm gonna blend that yellow a little ways into my white. Then I'm gonna blend in the rest of my yellow. Then I'm gonna blend that orange a little ways into my yellow here. If you want to add rings to any of your planets to make it look like Saturn, you can. So let's see, I'm going to use this teal color again, and I'm going to add a ring to this one by making a line that comes out, curves around in front, and back around. You could also make one of them look like Earth if you'd like, using green and blue. Let's see here, I'm going to go ahead and finish coloring these, and then we'll talk about the next step. One thing I forgot to mention is that if your hands get really dirty, something that helps is using a baby wipe or some type of a hand wipe to get it off, or you can run to your sink and use it. But I like to have a diaper wipe or some other type of wipe on hand so that I can clean my fingers off if I need to. Also, if I ever go too fast, you can always pause the video to catch up. All right, once you're finished blending them, you'll notice that I have a lot of chalk dust. I want to be careful. I probably don't want to make a mess everywhere. I like to blow it off if I'm in an area where it doesn't matter where the chalk dust gets, like outside. I also want to be careful that I probably don't touch all over my piece of paper so I get little lines like that. If you do, you can take an eraser and erase them. It will make your eraser pretty dirty though. But what I like to do is blow the chalk dust off. And then I'm ready for the last step. For this last step, I'm going to use watered down tempera paint. So this is some gold tempera paint that I had, and I added some water to it. I'm then gonna take my paintbrush and I'm gonna do a little bit of splatter painting. You need to make sure that you have your parents' approval before you do this, and that you do it in an area where it isn't gonna matter if you make a little bit of a mess. So I dipped my paintbrush in. There's a couple ways that you can do it. One way is you can hold the back of the brush and tap like this, and it's going to make a splatter effect so that it looks like maybe there's other stars and stuff happening in your galaxy. You're also going to want to make sure that this is your last step, because you won't be able to do any more blending with the chalk pastels now that you have wet paint all over your piece of paper. So once again, I like holding the back, and then right around here is where I'm tapping on my paintbrush to kind of create those splatters. If that's not working for you, you can always hold the brush too and kind of use your finger to help make the splatters. You will get your finger a little messy, but I find that works too. You could add as many as you would like for the stars. You could use more than one color, so I could use gold and silver, but I think that looks like a good amount of paint, and I'm done with this picture. I hope you enjoyed it, and I think you can create some really, really neat galaxy pictures this way. I hope you had fun with this outer space landscape.